you stop. Well, I was told that
even the dead body was beaten.
Exactly.
Even the dead body was beaten.
This is un-Liberian, and we should be what condemn that.
What do you make of the fact that it doesn't seem like that the former vice president has come up outrightly to condemn it?
I tell you, I was out of the country and I heard that he allegedly made some statement that this will be the end of Liberia.
Okay.
But when I saw the video, believe me, I went into awed. Meaning I was too sad that this man I have known for a little over 35, 40 years will get to that point to say that. I was disappointed.
Do you know him personally?
Right.
When I was at the bank, these were the older brothers we're looking up to. He was a member of the board as Minister of Agriculture. He was the chairman of the board, and we worked very well. But how it just, what the word they use, it went down so low. Yeah. It's something that baffles a lot of us.
Let me ask you,
baffles a lot of us.
Somebody will ask, and this coming from you, I know the Liberian, population listening out there will already take this. Who is Joseph Boakai?
Yeah.
Well, I've known him when I came as a young man to the bank at 25 years old. Mr. Boakai at the time was the head of LPMC. Shortly after I came back in 1982-83, the Minister of Agriculture, the late Fromoyan, he died. So President Do brought him in as Minister of Agriculture. We worked well together, and when the time we worked together, I found him to be a decent gentleman. Okay, but this war has done a lot of harm to people, and Ambassador Boakai, in my view, is a victim of what has happened to this country, because it's not the same Boakai I knew then. It's totally different.
A lot of people have said that he's lost control of the Unity Party, because the Unity Party under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was quite different. It will be said, for instance, that party, firstly, it had a lot of different academics, folks, professional folks, and what have you. If we were talking about violence, that wouldn't be violence perpetrated by that political party under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Unfortunately, it's morphed into a different kind of institution. To the extent, people within FOIA are claiming to have formed a militia group consisting of about 800 men that they are aligned with the Unity Party. And up to now, the standard bearer of the Unity Party, he hasn't condemned that. And that particular video came out in the wake of the violence that was perpetrated in FOIA.
This is why I'm saying to you, I'm disappointed. This is not the Joe Boakai that I know several years back. He has changed. And what he has changed to is tantamount to what we call expired goods. Expired product.
Do you think it's because
this market has no use for what he has changed to? This market has absolutely no use.
Do you think, Prof, it is because he's allowed, all kinds of different belligerent elements? For instance, the likes of Prince Johnson, Bob Naked, Yeke Koluba, former warlords, essentially.
Well, I don't make excuses for adults who are allowed to be influenced by people who are not supposed to be influenced. I don't give excuses for that. I don't. If you allow it, it's just wrong.
So do you think there could be a possibility that this was Joe Boakai all along, but it's just beginning to manifest, or that maybe he's aging, and it sort of validates the argument that he isn't fit? Like, this argument has been made by, for instance, Madina Wise, Tier 1 Gonglo. These are people who aren't members of the CDC, but they are the ones making. These are people who formally supported Joseph Boakai.
Well, what I'm saying to you, the Joe Boakai that I knew as a young man coming from grad school to head the agriculture bank in 1982, 20 years ago, is not the same Joe Boakai that I know today. And the Boakai that I know today is an expired product.
Did you see the video?
When I say it's an expired product, I would never have thought that Ambassador Boakai will utter those words that I saw and I heard him uttering when I saw the video. That's when I dropped everything.
Prof, what do you make of this line that they keep peddling about drugs that the CDC government is importing drugs in the country and they're responsible for what's happening out there? You have the fentanyl crisis in the U.S. I mean, this is happening in Mexico, all across, our sub-Sahara region, where we're fighting to curtail all of these different narcotics that are coming on our shores. drugs, which is a general problem that needs to be tackled by government. Here they are peddling this line that it is strictly this government. Your take?
Well, I'll tell you what, and this is where most of our people they make the mistake. They take for granted the youthfulness of the population. This is 2023. So the kid who was born in 2020 was 6 years old when the Unity Party government took over. So he doesn't have any memory, or she doesn't have any memory. But I can remember the last time I checked, there's a Unity government that took over January of 2006.
Yeah.
Right after that, people started sleeping in the grave.
And
the last time I checked, President Weah was nowhere around there.
No.
People were sleeping in the graveyard. In fact, there's a BBC documentary on that. So how can you say that President Weah brought kush here? But when you're drowning, you grab anything that is there. But we are here too. Like, you guys have done a fantastic job to bring the facts out. So we didn't bring drugs here. It's a major problem in the region. In fact, drug is a major problem all over the world. Even the great United States, they have it there. So to pin it on a government, then you cannot be. You are not nationalistic. We have a problem as a country, as a government. All of us should be able to confront it. So you can't pin out the government. The government did not bring it. If anything, the government is doing everything possible to handle that, to deal with the situation. Unfortunately, in their time, they had enormous resources to deal with it. They turned an eye on it. So what did the government do? What did our government do? Not only are we dealing with it by strengthening our law enforcement, but we created rehabilitation. To rehabilitate people that they sat down and allowed to be deranged, to be destroyed. We are doing that. So it's wrong, and they know it's wrong. It's unfortunate that that one can't hold water.
Okay, so Prof, you've seen several political dispensations. I want to go back a little bit, and I want you to help us to make a candid comparison of the different situations in terms of political volatility at the point in time. So what can you say, the political struggles that you saw during your early days, when Vice President Bwaka was a member of, the leaders who led these struggles, like Gabriel Marcus Matthew, Marcus Dan, or Jude Travel, many of these people, what can you say those political leaders at the point in time that were in the struggle, what different did they do as compared to what is happening now on our own political struggle, regards to what Vice President Bwaka, who was a member
That's a good question.
of the struggle at that point in time?
That's what I'm saying to you. Ambassador Bwaka was an integral part of the United People Party.
Correct.
One of the party leaders that we look up to. What he has changed to, I can't describe it. That's all I can tell you. In those days, where you had the great Marcus Matthew, Dr. Thibaut Amos Sawyer, Burma family. These are statesmen. These are people who were men and women of principles. They stood by it. If we went wrong, they brought us to book. What Ambassador Bwaka has turned to, it no longer has no relevance in the society. It cannot.
Will you say, because he became vice president for 12 years, and then he stayed in opposition for another 6 years. Will you say maybe it is the fact that he tasted power for 12 years, unlike some of the opposition leaders before, and then staying in opposition for just about 6 years. He was in power for 12 years and then staying in opposition for 6 years. So maybe that mixture of things is sort of becoming a little bit of a difficulty. His colleagues, whereas were social justice advocates for many years, they were not government officials. So did that, has that affected him? Do you think?
Oh, you can say that it has affected him. When I try to compare the Joe Bwaka that I know up to 1990 and the Joe Bwaka I know now, that's day and night, diametrically opposed. Wow. So it has to be. There has to be some environmental factor that's affected him. But my point is, at that level of education, of experience, of growth, no man should allow his or her surrounding to influence them in an adverse way, in a bad way.
Correct.
And he allowed that to happen, and he has to take responsibility.
What do you make of the fact that some of the times he will say, was just on an old car park in the garage. You know, when he faces criticism about what did he do during the 12 years of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, he seemed to want to claim the successes of President Sirleaf, which is one of the things that the candidate Tiawan Gongo talked about. He claimed the successes, but then runs away from the failures. When you talk about Nokai, he say, "Oh, I wasn't part of it." When you talk about the nepotism that characterized the Unity Party government, you say, "Oh, I was not part of it." The failure to provide jobs and all of that, rampant corruption. He said, I'm not part of it. But he said, oh, they fixed some of the rules, and he said, yeah, that was my leadership. I mean, at the time, I provided counsel to President Sirleaf. What do you make of that level of duplicity?
Well, in law, there's the Latin phrase there, falsu in uno, falsu in omnibus. I mean, false in one, false in all. You can say this one is good, I'm part of it, the other one is bad, I'm not part of it. No, the last time, if you are in a situation and you believe that there are certain things that are happening that you don't want to see, you have a choice. Get out. At the University of Liberia, I had a mentor, peace be to his ashes, Dr. Emmett Dennis, one of the most renowned scientists that Africa has ever had. He asked me to be his vice president for finance and fiscal affairs. In 2014, 2015, when the Unity Party government wanted certain support from me, and I decided I was not going to do that because there was no way I was going to leave a blood like President Senator Weah then to go to the Unity Party. They made it difficult for the university to be supported. In other words, as long as I was there, the university was going to be strangulated. You know what I did? I left. So if Ambassador Barker felt that these things were happening and he was not happy, he had a choice to leave. So he did not leave. So he has to take the latches for what.
He's still there, man.
Let me ask you this: Prof, you're the winning campaign manager in 2014 senatorial campaign, and winning campaign manager in 2017 presidential campaign. I mean, we were at the HQ at the party headquarters. I saw how you mobilized, at times when it was tough, and the kind of decisions you made. If I was to tell you ask you to call this race on the, let's say, the 11th of 12, what would it be and why?
You said the 11th or 12th?
Of next month.
Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday after the polls are closed.
First of all, let me commend the current team. The campaign team. I think they're doing an excellent job.
Okay.
Somebody asked me, why your name not? No. My name doesn't have to be there. We did it in 2014. We did it in 2017.
Right.
Now the younger guys are in the front. The president has made a decision which we trust and we support. And like I said, the campaign is not what you see in the front. That's not only campaign.
Exactly.
He has a backing. And most of us are back there to making sure that the 10th will come. We'll win this race on the first ballot. We can win it on the first ballot. You know why? Because we have done something. This gentleman has done something in this country that has never happened.
Yep.
The only thing that low on our side, but we are caught up with it, and thanks to all of you guys, is to put it outside. But that's not even bad too, because the ordinary person understands that.
Yeah.
So if I call this race, we'll win this race.
Yeah, but why do you think? Because there's been a lot of different political pundits that have said, since 2005, all of the different elections that have been held in Liberia, they've gone to 2 rounds. Why are we claiming that we can win this election on the first ballot? What are the variables? What have you seen?
Well, you see, this election is plugging into a base. This election, it's sad when I hear people say, the CDC people, they ain't no book. Something got to be wrong with you. You got something got to be wrong with you. How can you look at this young man, blessed by God, who has reached the top of his profession, never been accosted by anybody in the last 25, 30 years. You look and see he doesn't know anything. So you see people around here don't know anything. Let me tell you something. There's something called a CPA. We call it cement paper analysis. And when you talk to me after the 10th, I will tell you what that is. But this is something that we are plugged into. We plug into the population. The CDC is plugged into the population. And that population we plug to, nobody has ever plugged into that population.
Wow.
And that's when you call me here on the 11th, I will tell you what that population is. And
You
this
mean
is what
you
we are
mean a
talking-
specific demographic?
Yes, yes.
What is that demographic?
No, you say after the after.
Well, I can tell you, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you because the president has successfully
Yeah.
plugged into that. That's the youth for it.
Yeah.
Do you
The youth
know
for
that
Yeah.
every year, there we have 312,000 people who get to the age of 18 every year?
Wow.
Yeah. According
About
to the,
Now,
we have a very
Their
big population.
grade, their age, 1 to 18. Most of them are high schoolers, 9 and 12th grade. So what do you need to plug into them? What is bothering them?
Those are the first.
The CDC that people say include ignorant people. Let me tell you what happened. We went into the population. We got statistics. You see, President Weah is far more than what you see.
It's calculative.
He's
For those that-
calculative.
Yeah.
He takes into consideration information given him. He adds his own. He refines it and he puts it into work. That's why I hear people say, "Oh, you pick." He decided, you know what? This is the population here. The parents are in the market selling. They are on the street selling. Some of them are in front of their houses. $3,500 is a lot of money. Can we plug into that?
Yeah.
Bingo. Take care of the WIAC. Fine. But they come into WIAC, they pass WIAC. What about the
Well,
12th graders?
exactly.
When they leave, they're supposed to go to college.
Yeah.
But they got a huddle. The huddle is the University of Liberia.
Right.
What do you happen?
Or all public colleges.
Yeah.
Bingo. Big tuition free. It's lit, man.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah.
this young man has plugged into a
Joseph
population.
Braga did talk about that during his interview on
Uh,
Truth FM. He said, "Oh, this is something that I told President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf about, but she didn't follow me." I said, "These young people you see following George and Weah is because he's doing X, Y, and Z. Let's do it." I mean, because as a matter of fact, that's what he always does. He sort of projects himself in a place like there's one Liberian politician who used to do that. That I was there and I advised, but they didn't take my advice. Yeah, so he said that he advised President Sirleaf. She didn't take his advice.
That's fine.
To take under the young people.
That's fine.
So he's basically admitting to the fact that the intervention that President Weah made, both at the tertiary level, at the University of Liberia or public colleges, but also taking care of the YFE, that is something that has been making a lot of different young people so passionate about him. And we're beginning to see that. I mean, there was a poll yesterday conducted by Spoon FM. And let me say that again. Spoon FM.
We all know what poll is.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know what
They
poll is.
conducted an opinion poll of first-time voters, and I think it was only one of the first-time voters that was interviewed that said he's going to vote otherwise. All of them cited the payment of WIAC fees for which they want to vote for President George Weah.
Yeah, and this is what this gentleman called President George Weah is leading a revolution. There's a revolution right in front of our eyes, and people don't understand it. And who are the people at the core of the revolution? The 65% of the population below the age of 35. These are the people we are talking about. These are the people this gentleman was able to identify and find out their needs. It didn't take him long because they met from the ghetto too. So he ain't got that's not a book thing. He knows what it is to be hungry. He knows what it is to look for school fee. He knows how to go to look for Ale. You know Ale that selling. And someone remember where grandma used to say, Bali Allen to go to jacket and look for kids to sell. So he understands that. He understands that. And this is what he has plugged into. Now he's elevated it. We are redistributing the resources of this country for the benefit of the majority of the people. And this is what people, not that they don't understand it, but is it, God, how is it possible? We came from the Harvard. We came from the Yale.
We didn't think about
this. We never thought about that. Let's talk about payroll. We got in the government. My young brother, Tue, as finance minister, as the finance minister, he alluded to that. We pick up the payroll. At least 60,000 people are on the payroll. The payroll is approximately $23,000 to $25,000. I mean, 25 million a month. 1,521 person make 28% of the payroll. In other words, in the 1,521, there are less than
Say that again. So
we have a wage bill of about 25 million on the government payroll. At least 60,000 people on the government payroll. We analyze the payroll.
25 million monthly.
Yeah, 25 million monthly. 1,521 persons on that payroll take home close to 30% of the payroll. So in other words, 30% of that payroll, that's 7.5 million.
Wow.
Divided among 1,520. I call it 1,500 people. The remaining 58,500 persons
tokens
take home the remaining 17.5. This is why you saw payroll people taking 30,000, 28,000, 20,000, 15,000, and then they were walking around here with $5,000 worth of gas slips in the pocket, and $1,000 worth of scratch card.
Yeah. Wow.
But President Weah sees this. He gets the Minister of Finance. He gets the Economic Management team. The young fellow at Finance, Minister of Tourism. This is crazy. Mr. President said, you know what happened? Cut your coat according to your measurement. We cannot continue this.
No.
Worse, civil service and thanks to Thompson, they went deep down into the payroll to see who is making what and what is the grade.
Yeah.
So for instance, he can explain this better than I can. But he gets up and you say, okay, Kwame, you and Bwakai are journalists. But Kwame had been here 2 years prior to Bwakai. But the range, your salary range is a minimum of 5 bags of rice and a maximum of 9 bags of rice. So Kwame, you've been here for 2 years because of Bwakai, you will get a 9 bag of rice. Bwakai, you will get a 5 bag of rice. In actuality, Bwakai gets 2 bags of rice. Kwame gets 40 bags of rice.
What?
Wow.
So you at 40 bags of rice, you're getting 31 more bags of rice, more than you should have. This man is getting 3 bags of rice less than he's supposed to have. Mr. President said they can't work. Harmonize it. We'll bring you back. Kwame, you're supposed to get 9. So the 40 will take out 31, you get your 9. Out of that 31 that we saving, and Kwame, you are supposed to get 5. So the 2 you get it, we add 3. So we take the 3 from the 31, that 28 bag of rice you still have remaining. That's the crux of the matter. So we still got 28 bags of rice. We can bring few other people and put them there.
Yeah.
And this is why the government there. Even at that, with the number of people on payroll increasing, the total cost of the wage bill it reduced.
Yeah, significant.
And more importantly, what has happened in the harmonization? Because now we have a salary structure. At the end of every month, Mr. Tua will pay the Social Security benefits to Social Security, so that if Kwame retires tomorrow, he will have something to rely on. The period before, no, it didn't work. So you have people retiring, they were not doing anything. So this is significant. This is what we've done. This has taken the government to the majority of the people, and people are panicking. You know why they are panicking? It becomes, the group say, that sheen business now. How is it possible that those of us with all this education, somebody from the swamp, from the ghetto, will understand about? I tell you what, if from the swamp, that's where the majority of the population comes from.
Yeah, swamp in the ghettos.
So you see, economic management is on track. Even in the face of virus, when the whole world shut down,
people were getting paid.
This young man, this government were able to hold the exchange rate stable for 45 months, while other countries around here
wasn't shocked.
They're still struggling. How is it possible? This is the crux of the matter. How is it possible that these guys, that you can have a young man or two and a TARPEH and Thompson boy who just come in or where to do this kind of thing? But you know what happened? They come from the masses.
Yeah.
And they are redistributing, the president redistributing the tax dollar for the majority of the people.
Yeah.
That is the scary
You
thing.
see that in
So
the
when you see them talking like that, not that they are right. No, a fear, more than fear. When people say that's serious scary business.
Yeah.
If we let the bottle continue the years, someone we're not going here.
That will be the death of our political
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the crux of the matter right there.
And that's
That's
why
the crux of the
they
matter. Today, the young man at the Ministry of Finance, he stands his ground. And the president supports the ground. The economic management team is focused. Look at the banking system. All the noise they are making. For 12 years, the central bank received $15 billion in revenues. They use 19 billion. So they were short 4.5 billion. If we went by the requirement for liquidating a bank, meaning to closing a bank, the central bank qualified for that. Under this government, that deficit of 4.5 billion was recovered in 3 years. 3 years. How is it possible that this man that come from the ghetto? How is it possible? Well, it's possible because he is from the majority of the people. He understands what this country needs. He is selfless.
Prof, I'd like us to get back to a point that you made, which is quite interesting. I think we talked about that quite often on this platform. It's the fact that some of the folks can say, and when you meet them out, they say, "Oh, they're government people. Then they don't spend money on people. They sting you, they mean. Yeah. The last time, so I confronted a person, who said that to me, and then I asked, said, well, "What do you mean that we mean?" She said, "You people can get gas slip."
And
scratch cards. So it's quite an interesting statement that you made, that some government officials were moving around with $5,000 worth of gas slip and thousands more worth of scratch card in their pockets, in addition to the thousands of dollars they were making. So when President Weah came, he stopped that. I just wanted you to just emphasize that.
Yeah,
explain.
Even people tell me, "Oh, Prof, you mean?" I just look and I say, "Yeah, young people." I have been one of the most privileged and blessed young men in this country. I use most of what I have to help people, but I'm not going to confuse people saying that. Because the population got used to the indiscriminate use of public resources. There are people I know who are in this country, in the Unity Party, that bought vehicles from
scratch card.
No, not scratch card.
Gas slip. Sorry, gas slip. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
But you that money in your pocket, extra money in your pocket.
So people say, "Oh, the government me."
How did that happen?
President Weah is not running a welfare state.
Yeah.
He is running a country that is based on the free market enterprise, the interest of the people. So if government must give you money, they want it through education.
Yeah.
That extra money.
The kids are going to.
So when the government starts the payment of scratch card and gas slip, they use that extra money to pay for education.
That.
Yeah. So the scratch card is in Wi-Fi.
Yes, it's in Wi-Fi.
It's in Rawalpindi Highway.
It's in Rawalpindi Highway.
Yeah.
It's in the hospitals.
Yeah.
It's in the roads.
Military hospital.
It's all the individual pockets.
Yes, it's
and their girlfriends.
Wow.
And their girlfriends.
Whatever they have. This is how this government is redistributing the tax dollar. It is causing all the uproar because they saw it and didn't recognize it. They recognized it, they didn't do it.
Yeah,
how come
those were low-hanging
this
fruits.
young man from the swamp doing this? That is the crux of the matter. There's nothing else to it. That's the crux of the matter. That's it.
Let me ask you this question, and I want you to take a look from your professorial angle and your campaign management angle as well. So if Liberia were 15 questions, right, given, and outright we seem student Brakai is not attempting almost 9 of those questions, and he expect to deduce the class. How would that happen?
Say that again.
If Liberia were 15 questions given, we're seeing that student Brakai is not attempting 9 of the questions that was given.
He is attempting 9.
He's not.
Oh, he's not attempting 9.
Not at all. Our president toured every district.
Yeah.
He's
counting.
I think there are how many electoral districts? There are about 50 somewhere, right? 73. He tore everything. And on the Brakai, maybe he only done Montserrato, Lofa, Bong, and Bassa. So he yielded the rest of the other counties to his opponent and expect to win this victory. How is that possible?
Oh, but it's simple. There are reports. I can verify that there were posters that came here for the Unity Party, and they did some work, and they provided some advice. So if you see Ambassador Baka behaving like that, he's going by the posters. And the poster, I am told, you have no chance here.
What you mean there were posts?
Yes,
there were posts
I am
conducted?
told that. I have not verified that.
Yeah.
And I can say that. But there were posters that they hire from overseas.
The
And the report was that you cannot make it here.
Don't attempt these
you can't. You can't. These elections, you're put up a fight, but you cannot win. So why would somebody go into a race, try to put the whole country together? It's not working, and you have an incumbent who is vigorously campaigning more than an underdog,
right?
And he chooses not to go to the rest of the country. But does that tell you anything? It doesn't mean anything. I'm not going nowhere. Even if I go, it's not going to work. But he can't back out now because you got people, do it. No. In his own mind, these elections are over. These elections are over, and President Weah is going to, people will give him a second term.
When you look up the threats coming out of the former warlord, we saw him parade a legitimate president, torture him, and kill him on television, Prince Johnson. And making all of these different remarks and threatening war.
That's a gentleman I've known for a very long time, and all I can say is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate if he made it. I didn't hear it, but I'll take your word that he said it. It's unfortunate. But when people say it like that, it means that people are panicking in awe. When people are panicking in awe, they feel bad in their head and they see things that are not supposed that do not exist.
Yeah.
But one thing I can tell you, this population of Liberians cannot and will not be driven by fear. You can't come back and threaten children of people who were slaughtered 30 years ago with violence. The people will protect it. October 10 will come and it will pass. It's unfortunate, but this population will not allow any more violence here. The peace of this country is the most important asset that we have. And going forward, we must thank President Weah for maintaining the peace. Because in spite of all the cursing, they now cause a man, they call Sisi, we call a man Sisi, call Sisi, cause a paper, everybody. He is silent. The peace of this country is important.
Yep.
And people tell me, oh, things are hard. Things are hard.
Yeah, I want to
things are hard.
What do you make of that?
But, you go up the creek, you take that and you put it there. Right? You put it there, you put up, excuse me for the word, you go up there, you put that. We hold down the stream. We try to clean it, then you say, you didn't know that it was going to happen before? You damaged this country. You plundered this country. I give you evidence. I give you the papers. I give them to you.
My APM terminal be one of them?
Yeah, well, we call it APM terminal is an investment, which we welcome. And we'll continue to work with it. But I'm telling you things that are happening in this country, just in the fiscal space. Just in the fiscal space. Take, for example, 2007, $6 million got missing from the Internal Affairs. Source, General Auditing Commission. The report is there. The Minister of Peace be to his ashes was set aside. 2010, 2011, approximately 30 million got missing from the health fund. Everybody knows that. And they try to target on the late and say, no, I'm not going to have a piece of that. 2012, 2013, the central bank pulls out $645 million and people are running around here calling it poverty doctor. Is that a lie? You go to that particular facility and you see the list of people who are borrowed from what I am informed. $645 million.
US dollars?
No.
Okay.
Equivalent at that time, $7-8 million.
Okay.
But what was substantial? And they give it out. People are calling poverty doctor here. Ask for that report. The central bank is struggling to try to collect that money. Recovery rate is less than 30%. It's still out there. 2014, 80 million is taken from Noka, is bankrupted. The president takes responsibility. 2015, approximately 165 million were used for map up over a period of time. Outside of the established mechanism, and the established mechanism is that if you're having money you put out, you want to map up, you go through what we call a bid process. You put up a notice. 2016, they put that out.
So they did a mop up before election.
Of course.
Because they're blaming the government.
No. You see, I started this conversation with a statement that because they think that this population is relatively young, it is not occurring with what happened in the past. But there are some people here who track what happens in this country, bad or good. Check the records. That money cost the African Development Bank. They have a publication called the African Economic Outlook. They classify us as a reputational risk. I mean, anything coming from the Central Bank of Liberia, please don't believe it. 2016, the State of the Nation address by President Sirleaf made mention of that loan, that it was having problem for the economy, for the central bank. I'm giving you sources. Go there. 2017, October and November, $443 million was taken from out of this country in the form of remittances. I'm giving you sources. Go to the central bank annual report 2017. They will tell you all of that. If you combine all of that, the 80, the 6, the
7.5,
the 7.5, the 50, the 13, the 13, and all of that, is approximately 279. Those of us privileged to do this thing, there's something called the money expansion process. It means that if you put $10 in the bank and the central bank is holding something called 20 cents as a reserve requirement, you got 80 cents to deal with. So $1 for be $10, you only 20 cents. Now 20 cents in a dollar, right?
Right.
So we call it the money by we'll call it 5. So if you take 279 million, let's forget with 443, because I expect some clown to come and tell me, oh, you know that export there. I will tell you, say no, but when you talked about those remittances do not affect expenses. Personal remittances, I will come to it, how that happened. That means the actual amount you suck outside of the system is 5 times that. That is the amount of potential growth of this economy you've taken out of that. If you have a budget of 500 million for development, do you know how long it would take you to do that? This is the country. This is the country that Joshua took over. The prediction was that by March 30, this government will have collapsed.
Yeah, it couldn't pay salaries.
When it did not happen, they nurtured June 7th. What they did not expect was, how is it possible that this guy from the ghetto can do something like that? How can you expect a young man, the Samuel Tue, I'll call it young people. I mean, we are older people in the back. They can do this. Well, these guys were determined based on what the president wanted to go. We will take the hit, we'll reduce it, and we still are able, the government was still able to run this country. That is the crux of the matter right here. Now, my message to our people: we know that this government, when you know the government is doing its best and is doing well. You may say, "Oh, he didn't do that." Fine, because after being plundered for 12 years, when Ambassador we are coming as president, the expectation of people was high and properly so. So I expect the bottom. But people, sometimes your expectation does not come in one. But I can tell you what, the process has started. And this gentleman needs the second term, because we are all in this together. Everything he's doing is for the benefit of the majority of our people. We are all in this together. Don't listen to that. Who are catching Hatan? That the market who are catching Hatan? Also, when you're putting 5,000 gas in your pocket, and my mom was in the market in the rain, and she couldn't have anything. She had no access to money. The other day, the Minister of Commerce, congratulations to her, 40 I think 400,000 or 4 million, something of that nature. And more of that is going to come. Even the Western project, which is the EP is working, the 25 million, there's substantial amount in there for the livelihood project. Sino, in the next month, will launch a $10 million project. 2 million of that money will be for livelihood. The president went to Glasgow 2021 and he made the case. These are the resources that are coming. So things will get better.
What do you make of
This is very good.
the unity? And these are important revelations,
yeah.
especially when you cited specific instances at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Health, the Central Bank of Liberia, where millions of dollars in public funds were missing. So, what do you make of some of the claims being made by the opposition Unity Party when they say, President Weah isn't doing so well. We have the blueprint. We can do this and that. Do you believe in the abilities of former Vice President Joseph Boakai to be the one to sanitize the system? If he claims that is not properly operating as it should.
I don't understand. Come back again, please.
Do you believe in the ability? Because given the fact that he was former Vice President under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and all of these things happen. We just cited some of the instances of money getting missing.
If you talked to me 30 years ago, I would have told you that Joe Boakai is capable. The Joe Boakai you're talking about now has expired.
By expired, you mean his age?
No. When I say, I mean the goods that he presented have expired. The capacity is not there. 12 years you were there. You didn't do anything. It's not there. It's not there. The discipline is not there.
Okay.
The discipline is not there because that opposition is used to what we call a consumption that is personal. A personal consumption. Those are conspicuous components. Saying that will make me look good, building houses, buying clothes. We have a president whose consumption is productive to improve the productivity of the economy. Why do you think this gentleman is taking? Mind you now, we just received $1.9 billion in 6 years. They receive about 3 times that in 12 years. So if we extrapolated that and we are going for 6 years, we prayed our people, we know our people will give us 6 years, we've done about 3.8 compared to 7 or 8 billion.
Yeah.
But look what he has done with it. So the question, a direct answer to it is no, our people are not prepared to leave this new revolutionary trajectory that is changing this country for the benefit of the to an outdated, tested, and failed system.
Another argument is foreign investment have not come to this country. Your take?
Well, you see, if you say foreign investment has not come, maybe, although I don't agree, there are evidence to the open eye. Jetty just opened a plant. The last time I checked, Jetty is not a Liberian.
No.
Okay, and you have the cement factory,
the steel processing factory.
Yes, steel processing factory. Those are
not. But the cement factory we got 3 now.
Yeah. Well, but let's assume, for the sake of argument, no foreign investment. Yet, this gentleman, President Weah, has been able to do this without any help.
That's even way.
I will agree with you. I said, imagine I don't even have the investment. And listen, I'll tell you. There are two: the fiscal side and the monetary side. The fiscal side, no government on the face of this globe can make it without borrowing. But look at what President Weah has done, thanks to the young men at finance and the economic team. All of the debt that Unity Party took from the banking system to the central bank, they've been arranged, and not a penny is no longer borrowed by the government from the central bank.
Yeah, and that was one of the stuff.
The IMF will tell you, of course, they tell you, the IMF doctor. That when you get to that point, and then I think my mom will call it Sagasa, and I think you're talking about. So, but we should imagine with all of these difficulties, this government has been able to maintain the sale. He needs a second term to consolidate, especially now beginning with our people in the farming system, the agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture, she has taken a different stand. The other day we had a problem. Another problem we had a symposium on the rice. Major decisions are coming out. We now are working on a plan to resuscitate a lending institution similar to the Agriculture Bank for our farmers to have direct access. And this is that we're working on.
I just wanted to point out that some of the claims about the government not attracting investors, have been coming from folks in the national legislature, and that is quite hypocritical because they've signed more than a dozen, concession agreements.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the ones that he was citing, I was just looking for the full list here, but there's been a whole host, whether it is Poultry Farm, whether it is Hammerberg, the gold company, whether it is the new additional cement factories,
Steel
and all of
processing,
that.
rubber processing.
All of those different things have happened under President George M. Weah, and it is unfortunate that they will be stating those. But we want to open the lines.
Before we open the line on that piece, I still like to say, okay, for the purpose of argument, no investment has come. You know why? Because President Weah is learning from the experience of the most Stevens report that 66 out of 68 concessions were bogus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's public information. Most Stevens report 66 out of 68, something like that.
So only
bogus.
So only two makes sense.
What we are trying to do now is to make sure if it is bogus, then the entire architecture, the framework for contracting must have to be reviewed.
Yeah.
Have they thought about that? This is what President Weah is trying to do, so that we do not make the same mistake. That's it. That's my response there. Fortunately, it's not even true that no foreign investment has come.
I know.
We want to take time who comes here, what they do, and what the interest of our people, that whatever they do, whatever they want to do, it must be consistent with our national development plan.
We'll open the lines at this stage. Call us on 080-514-096. That's 080-514-096 or 0886-561-537. That's 0886-561-537. Let's talk to these callers. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
Morning.
Yes, we can hear you. Your name and where you calling from? Take the next call. I think this.
Okay, let's talk to Isaac Dan. Isaac Dan is of Nimba Kwadu. Isaac, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
We're doing well. How are you? How is Nimba County?
My brother, me father, has been hard here to make sure that the president win one round. We don't want no second round because what we see that this president is the most excellent president that people are ever elect. So we should give him his 12 years to make sure that the development that he carries should end it. All of these people that are passing all around here, they don't have campaign message. You see the song, they go and they copy it, then they say, this person wants to talk to us. Why is the essence that you lying? You run on the road and the president says, then you go to Liverpool and say, the men are facing road? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And you claim that government owe Nimba and government doesn't owe Nimba people. The same so-called senator that will come into voting out on Tuesday.
You're talking about Senator Johnson?
Yes.
Because Senator Johnson said the government owes Nimba County, I think, $9 million.
Yeah, just $7 million.
Yeah.
Now, what he said is not true. I'm the sitting president of Nimba Kwadu. I've been working with Senator Johnson for the past 12 years. Everything, Senator Johnson is good at evacuation. He lied. He made small things big. And he went over in Ghana. He said that yes, the government just gave the money. When they asked him question, he said that yes, the people gave the money. When they said they begin to ask him, but then who received the money? They don't know where the money is. You are the chair of the caucus. Then who will believe?
And I just want to say that, today, I think the director of the Concession Bureau was clarifying. He essentially said, under President Weah, he sought to change the way social development funds are run. So social development funds, since 2019, he wanted those money to go directly to the counties, to impact the counties directly. So that's how we see some of the roles being built. Unlike before, where Senator Johnson had exclusive control, and the ordinary people didn't benefit. You know, so when he said maybe the country receive it, he probably means
Yes, you will.
I see some years.
You know what happened? When we go into meeting, when we go into member meeting, the president of Squad will present over the gavel. It's one that I proposed to the senator. He said, if you do this in the country, they will kill you. I said, no. If you are the citizen of this country, and you just stay with the president and say, the social development fund should be directly under the company operating in the country to do the development. And just precisely the development carry on. He said he tried this in the country, they will kill you. Because what? He wants for everything to go in your pocket. So don't matter now. Let me tell you, brother, I always tell you, this person will win one round. This person will win one round.
Can he win Nimba? Can he win Nimba?
Yes! I keep telling you, I say, after the election, will call me over and congratulate me. Because don't matter the thing that he's talking on the air here and there, but our campaign is get a dropper campaign. You see dropper over the water swing, but you know how they manage to swim.
Yeah, exactly.
We better into Johnson, but trust me, this time
but the opposition chose Isaac. The opposition chose Jeremiah Kuhn from Nimba, Prince Johnson from Nimba. They had their vice standard bearer from Nimba.
Let me tell you this: Jeremiah Kuhn is a betrayer. He just went to Maryland and make a statement that he's from Southeast.
Right.
So it means that our offer that we give him to main senator is there. Wait.
Yeah. Exactly. Sure.
So we'll prove to you now.
He admitted.
Oh, he told it.
He said for Southeast.
He's from the Southeast.
Yes.
Then he said it Nimba and he's from Nimba.
The people from Jubilee, call what he said. What he said.
So you see the behavior they get on. So we'll prove to them on Tuesday that this person is a more excellent person in this country. Trust me, brother, you will call me and tell me. And we will make sure that the president gets one round. I keep telling you, I want no second round in the election. What we want to set history, the charter in the country, that there was no second round. We will make sure that Joe will be the next person who will set our record. Trust me.
Thank you. That's the voice of Isaac Dan. Isaac is the head of Nimba Quad. Let's take more calls. Let's take 080514096. You can call us on those numbers. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Waka.
Your name, where are you calling from?
And morning to the veteran educator, Professor Wilson K. TARPEH.
Okay.
Good morning.
This is Emmanuel Sosia and the secretary of the Football Defender. I join you from this great state, Waka.
Morning.
You know, whenever Professor Wilson TARPEH appear on the public media and quote unquote those who claim to be educated and intellectual, they can disappear in air. Look,
They can disappear.
Of course.
Yes, they can disappear in air. No, these guys are complete jokers. You look at a veteran educator and indigenous son of this country, Professor Wilson K. TARPEH, supporting an ideology of an indigenous who have contributed immensely to the growth and development of the country. Then you refer to us as joker. We are not educated and we don't do nothing. Then you are the big joker. See what President Weah has done in this country for the past 5 years, approximately 6 years. That's why we, the young people of this country, we are attracted to President Weah, because President Weah has all the opportunity. President Weah has given all the blueprint. President Weah is giving opportunity to the other people. President Weah is continuing to impact every sector of our country.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's talk to the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information. Jalawa Tompo, good morning.
Waga Fufana, Kwame Opa Weeks, and Daniel Luke's Thomas. Prof. TARPEH, how are you doing there?
Fine. You should be in the field by now.
Prof,
Yes.
my feet are tired.
Yeah,
The president has a strength more than we, even the young people.
I know.
He has a strength. But I like to.
How was his entry into River G? You were there.
Look, in fact, the superintendent, Minister George Popo, and the Joint Security and some other folks from River G and the Southeast, we went at the border, directly at the border. of River G and Grand Jide. And in fact, that is the most scary month that people always afraid of. That particular place is the most challenging area. But it was a dramatic scene that day when you could see the president convoy passing through. Because I had gone ahead and I was afraid after we passed through. I said, my goodness, I'm afraid that the president will pass through. So I sent the words by, and they said, look, president said he's coming through. He's not coming through enemies. He's coming through that route. I said, wow. So I told him, I said, let us be at the border to see. And so we were at the border, that particular month, PROF and Boaga, that place, if you have seen the president passing through. So it was surprising, even in River G and in Harper, when they filmed Senator John Balut and Jeremiah Kuhn, when they were saying that the president was coming with helicopter, and they are even still running with that news that the president went with helicopter. To the extent that even when in Harper in River G, Jeremiah Kuhn was speaking the Jirepo. And I'd like to confirm what the previous caller said, the first caller, when he betrayed his people. Jeremiah Kuhn alluded to the fact, he said he comes from Deadwood, Greenville, and so he has gone back to seek the support of his people. But the question that was being asked is that what have you done for the people of Jirepo and the Deadwood people? And then the question was also asked, where did you pass? And he said because he never had the means of helicopter. President Weah is coming with helicopter, so he passed through Africa and what have you. He was completely embarrassed. I wish that some of you, I think I shared the lunch in River G and Harper. I shared it in one of the chat rooms, and I also shared it. It was completely embarrassing to them. Completely embarrassing that presidential vice candidate will enter a particular country and you see 150 person behind him. It was completely.
Reach that number 7. Anyway, reach that number.
But the good thing about it again is that, and then the dramatic thing was that when we were leaving River G, entering Plivo, the people in Maryland said, "Look, we have long seen the president walking from place to place, so we want him to walk from the border to enter Plivo." And Prof. TARPEH, you being on that side, you know the distance. Yeah. The convoy had to beg the people, say, look, we can't walk. Let us enter, let us go up the hill, the mission town, then we'll start walking from there.
Okay, we gotta go. Thank you so much, Jalawa. This conversation has created a lot of interest. We're having, all of the different government officials seem to be calling, but also, members of the public. So we gotta balance that.
Yeah, but let's get the public.
Let's get the public interaction. Right. Good morning. From there. Okay, let's talk to this other person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Jeremiah Anthony, and I'm joining you from District 17.
In which county?
Mangibi County, to be precise, Mediterranean.
District 17 in Mangibi. No, Mangibi is 17. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm 17%. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm calling from Mediterranean.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to commend your studio guests. You have spoken lengthily, and I don't know when people saying that Joey not do anything or no company can LIBERIA. I don't know in what aspect they're speaking of. Even when the company don't come, they agree that company they don't come LIBERIA. More company they don't come LIBERIA, who is responsible? I want to believe that the opposition responsible in a sense that when Joey took over, a lot of protests all across the border LIBERIA.
That's a good point.
So nobody will hear protests in your country. Then.
Okay. Oh wow. Let's talk to Political Mojo Setu. Political Mojo Setu, good morning.
Good morning, Minister Baraya Fofana and entire team in studio, and good morning to the conscious man Liberian.
Okay.
Thank you for the recognition and a call from the most talk about Bagugba Avenue this morning.
How is Bagugba Avenue?
The Bagugba Avenue is okay this morning.
Where is that in fact? Bagugba Avenue.
The avenue starts from Clouton over all the way to Do Community Junction.
Why do we call it Bagugba Avenue?
Thank you very much for that unique question. We call this place the Bagugba Avenue because we have Perry Street, Johnson Street. We have all of the streets that were named after past leaders. residents of Joe community we deem it necessary. So it was the first project under the unique leadership of President George Manawia. We deem it necessary to name the street the Begube Avenue in honor of His Excellency President George Manawia, who brought pride and dignity to residents of District Number 40 to be specific Joe community. Remember, the road connecting from here, you can use the road to go read it. The same opposition people who said that the road was not significant. Today you can see them flying the street, using the road to see how they can go to a better destination.
Okay.
That's what we call it. The Begube Avenue is the best people who named and resident of Joe community.
Thank you, political model. We gotta go. I'm so sorry. A lot of different people calling. So I think the Deputy Minister, the Ministry of Public Works, is attempting to reach us. Minister Tor apparently wants to give us some updates.
Walker, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm a big brother Opido.
Opido's doing well.
That's right.
This is Stephen Zong, Zulu Whiskey.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead.
The veteran intellectual, TARPEH. Thank you for your deliberation.
You are most welcome, sir.
The cause of the matter is somebody they are classified to be novice is performing. So it's shaking. We who are in relationship, the people type of relationship is when you classify yourself to be open man and then you again.
But man, too graphic an analogy. Let's move on. Let's move on.
So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. All right. But Zulu Wesker going for Agbakuba? All right, you're done. Minister Tor, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, BK. Good morning, Minister Baka Fokana. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning to Kwame. And good morning to the senior big brother, like Thomas referred to him as our grandfather.
Yeah.
I called to pay homage to him this morning.
Thank you.
All those who have been in the vanguard for multi-party democracy in the country. Yep. We are heading there. It's tough. There are some disturbing news coming out of Lofa. When we get there out of the country, we all condemn violence in our elections. And we really wish to see the country sitting in the direction that the next generation will be proud of us that we're doing to Professor TARPEH and the rest of the progressives. But I called this morning to lend my voice to the many voices that have been talking to the Liberian people. And I wanted to look at President Weah as a game changer in our country politics. I'm at the Ministry of Public Works, and so I will restrict my conversation this morning to the activities of the Ministry of Public Works under His Excellency President George Weah compared to all past regimes. Again, we want to say thank you to past regime. They've done the best. But we want to give exceptional credit to President Weah for his leadership. This country, since the founding of this country in 1847 to now, one of the binding constraints we have had to our national development
it's a lack of rules.
Is the lack of rules. And that binding constraint is being addressed, is being forcefully addressed in base of all the challenges, global challenges that is facing the world all over. Here we are in 2023. From 2018 to now, the governor of Liberia, led by His Excellency Dr. George Manawia, is paving major rules that who have been paved when this country GDP was on par with that of Japan. We didn't experience that. We didn't realize that. But in 2023, where we have challenges all over in the world, and Liberia not being an exception, the governor of Liberia is paving the road from Ganta to Yekepa. You can imagine billions of dollars worth of iron ore came out of Yekepa. No government ever pay attention to that part of the country that are producing billions of dollars. Right. And I want our brothers and sisters in Lima to listen to this. Today, that road is 98% completed. And Ganta,
that Ganta the Yekepa, because it's Ganta all the way to San Nicolas.
No, Ganta first. Ganta Senegal first. Ganta Senegal is 35 kilometers.
Yeah.
Ganta Senegal is 98% completed. They just doing finishing touches.
Kata the Sanikole?
Right.
Ganta Senegal is 98%.
What do you want to do that again now? Because we were there.
My brother, we need to pin, we need to put on some road sanitary and all of that. What have you? But the actual pavement is completed. All right? It's completed. Then Senegal local tool, a major commercial route, a major gateway to the most powerful country in the Mana River New in terms of the commerce of that country. One of our major trading partners. You can imagine that we have never had an all-weather road connecting that country, which have undermined the commerce of this country so long.
Right.
They have undermined the vehicle, applying the route going there. I mean, a whole lot have been realized negatively as a result of that road not being paid.
But Minister Todd, I wanted to ask you. You talked about the fact that iron ores were extracted before from mining companies in Nimba, and not much was done. What changed this time around? Because we know that the story has been that President Weah prevailed on these different concession companies and told them that they either develop the communities in which they live, or else, the government not going to be happy. For instance, Asila Micat, he specifically prevailed that whatever money they have, that they shouldn't be giving it to lawmakers and all of that. They should develop the county. That's how we saw the rules, right?
DK, I can say this to you. Honestly, I attended meetings that led to the pavement of the road going to Yekepa.
Okay.
When we came to government, that road development was completely off the table. But the president insisted that road be done. That you cannot have a mental state extracting iron ore from the community and the community be left underdeveloped the way it has been over the years. So the president insisted, and he gave us strict instructions as a lieutenant at the Ministry of Ottawa, then Mabudu Nipa before Minister Kogo Collins came in, and we engaged in, along with the Ministry of State, the Ministry of Finance, and today progress, significant progress. The livelihood of the people in Yekepa is never going to be the same any longer. Our sons and daughters in Yekepa will go to school on paved road. They will commute between Ganta, Senegal, and the rest of the country on paved road. Now let's continue. Bonjama Banga is 98 kilometers. Again, from 1847 to date, not a single kilometer, not a single inch of that road was ever paved. As we speak, about 81 kilometers is about to be completed of the 98. Then another 49 is in the pipeline, just almost 6 years. So Lofa can rest assured that with this president, this game changer president, Lofa is not going to be the same. And guess what? Guinea is the second most viable commercial country compared to Ivory Coast. And now we are about to connect there. So if we are connected with Ivory Coast, then we are connected with Guinea with all whatever beside Ganta. You know what's going to happen to the commerce of this country?
I was specifically at the Rice Symposium that was organized by the Ministry of Agriculture, and we're talking about the importance of roads. One of on the sidelines of that discussion, one of the speakers was telling us that one of the most important roads that the president is constructing, he said he didn't care much about all the different roads in the southeast and what have you. He said the road from Banga to the bread basket, Lofa County. He said if that road is complete, a lot of things going to be changed in Liberia, Monrovia specifically, because there's going to be agro businesses, there's going to be, farmers' activities, their products are going to be reaching the market more easily and all of that.
Baka, that part was precisely correct.
Yeah.
And not only that, and let me just quickly add, look, our brothers and sisters in the southeast can rest assured that pavement of their roads began long ago. That is why the government insisted that, look, we will not wait for the World Bank, we will not wait for our development partners, but we will grab the bull by the horn as a government, a responsible government. We will begin the pavement of the road from Ganta towards Zedro. And that is how come the first 39 kilometers of pavement came about. And that road is paved out of the government pocket.
The first 39 kilometers?
The first 39 kilometers. The first 39 kilometers.
And we should remind the audience that 1 kilometer is $1 million, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. In some cases even more. And almost Gata Sakepi, Sakepi Tapeta, the next stretch to connect Tapeta and then onto Totan.
Okay.
That process, yeah, go ahead.
No. I mean, I was just going to wrap up with you, but just make your concluding statement.
Thank you. So Sakepi Tapeta, which is to 1 kilometer, is already on contract. The contractor is already maintaining that. The other stretch from Tapeta to Totan, that is now we're now into Green Gide. It's also on a contract. The contractor is under obligation to maintain it. So the point I'm making is that look, Zulu will take a rest show that in the next two years, 1 to 2 years, that is why it is more important that you really like this government, because if you don't do that, most of the development activities will be stopped, and people will start from nowhere. And these are people who have been there before, who have been tested before. Hey, I'm not here to condemn them, but the reality will speak for itself. So if you start trying to change the rules of the game, if you start trying to change your captain, your major players, when your country is on the rightful trajectory to development, that is a major setback for the country. And I don't think that Brazilians are prepared for that right now. So my caution to the rest of the country, my advice to the rest of the country and to the Southeast is that look in the direction of President George Weah coming towards 10. Not in the road from Fishtown coming towards Zredru is also being paved. So you see, we are evidently Zredru from 2 fronts. From River G and then from Lima.
So that means the road from Ganta straight to Grand Gide, from Grand Gide to River G is going to be paved.
Yeah,
precisely.
Yeah,
precisely. And it will be a major boost for the Southeast.
Yeah.
Because there are commercial activities that go on there. Lima is also supposed to be another huge food producer in the commerce of Liberia, in the economy as a whole.
Okay,
Lima has been doing well over the years, and we want to say to them, look, do not circumvent the development train. It's well on the way to leading this country into prosperity.
Thank you.
It's well on the way to paving the roads for our younger generation of born. Let's keep President Weah so that in the next 6 years, that this country will be very glad of us as a generation. Again, thank you to Professor TARPEH and thank you to all the progressives for doing what they did. Today we have multi-party democracy. All the distractions will get over them. Those are hurdles and they will be behind us. Thank you, Biggie.
Thank you. So,
I listened to the political tour the morning. Tour that normally technical man. Tour was being political this morning. But he made an important point about the pavement of the Southeast Road. So some of the time people say, "Oh, the South, nothing is happening in the Southeast," and all of that. He made a point about the fact that the government started to use its own money to pave 39 kilometers of the road between Nimba to Saklepie, that leads to Grand Gide.
Correct.
So that is the beginning of the Southeast Road. But then there's also the one between River G and Grand Gide.
Yeah.
So imagine if it's a road from Nimba to Grand Gide and then from Grand Gide to River G. That's a huge segment of the Southeastern Road.
Yeah, but that is interesting. People say, he not been in the Southeastern. It underscores the selflessness of President Weah. Had he started with the Southeast, these very people
we'll say that
he gonna
tribalistic.
But he followed what we call the soundness of the economic development.
Yeah.
So we decided to prioritize those areas outside of the Southeast. Even though something is being done there, to make we can to get to the Southeast, you have to start the road from here. So we'll go into major areas. Tor was talking about Lofa as the breadbasket. Why you think President Weah now has decided to go back to that they used to call it Banga Medekuma Highway, which is what we have? Because there was time in this country, I know, and Banga also knows, that Lofa County, the economy of Lofa County, became the top to the extent that farmers were able to put a loan together and give it to the government. Not to say they say, I say so. And you talk about farmers like Quadro Boni, Vanjima farmers, Bandi farmer, which was the cream of the crop. And these are farmers that didn't bother themselves with government jobs. They were producing. And this is why the president decided we will open this corridor. That's what that farmer was telling you. And that's just where the president is. This is a president who's not selfish. Not because I come from the southeast.
Yeah.
I'll pass whatever. No.
And the thing about it is, and that's an important point the professor made there. So the president is developing rules between in the different communities, first of all, but also rule between Bond County to Lofa County, any other counties. And some of the opponents have said, like he said, they would have said that maybe he's focusing on accounting and then forgetting the rest of Liberia. That's what they're going to say. But then, unfortunately, or fortunately, or at least, now that he's focusing on these other counties, now they want to shift the argument and say, "Oh, look at the president, even the place he's coming from, he's not developing the place he's coming from." But unfortunately for them, and they wanted to project this image that the president was unpopular, and then we saw the massive welcome that he received in the southeastern part of Liberia, beginning with Maryland County. They almost toted the president's vehicle when he entered Maryland. So I was wondering what has Balud and Senator Barney been telling these people all along? Because I saw them posting pictures of two of them going to Maryland County and other parts of the southeast region, saying, "Oh yeah, or Joseph Boakai can reach there, but these people are going there." And then suddenly, a couple of schools of people went behind them. But then when the president went, there was just a multitude, that turned up behind. It shows that the people really, really love their son.
Yeah, in Maryland.
Yeah. So there was another video that emerged from Grand Crew, which was it shows the level of desperation. I want us to talk about that video quite a bit. So the president went to Grand Crew, and this has been happening all over the places the president has gone. For those of you who travel with the president, I've traveled along, and I've seen this happen quite a few times. So when the president goes, and he leaves, there are a lot of different young people that come out in other vulnerable groups. So the president asked the chief of protocol, who, by the way, is called Rescue Mother, because of the level of intervention that the president has been making through her. So she goes to these different communities, gave them other bags of rice or other provision, depending on what they need in a particular area. And so that was what the youth of Grand Crew was expecting. So after welcoming their leader, the president, who, by the way, I assume will get, because the last election, I think the president got almost 80-90% of that place. So maybe he might increase the projection this time around. After welcoming him so passionately, he left the stage. They said they wanted to see Rescue Mother. And then suddenly these people edited the video. If you look at that video, you'll see that the people were welcoming the president. It was, collated. then
that action.
So basically, this man is saying, I can go
to this level.
Yeah, that's way below the edge.
Yeah.
In Liberia here, especially African politics, you will want to, if you cannot go to the people, now asking them for their votes and explaining to them, why will you go to them if they vote you in?
Yep.
Yeah. Why will you go to them when they vote you when they vote you in?
Because now this is when they will laugh. We hear jokingly say, "Oh, don't take T-shirts, don't take bundle of zinc, don't take rice, and all of that." Or the politicians say, "Oh, no," the voters say, "We'll wait when it's time for election," and
And Kwame,
to tell people, "Oh, we'll see." But like,
I tell you,
we've heard a lot about the fact that Joe Burkhardt is a tribalist, that he, sort of very divisive,
very, very divisive,
and all of the different stuff. But we've never seen any major semblance of that
until now.
Yeah,
until now,
right.
that he's decided
This is like,
that there is a whole part of Liberia that that doesn't
like,
concern him.
Screw you.
That I don't care about the Southeast.
Right.
I'm not going to venture with them because they don't matter to me as much. I'm going to talk to my people. So if there's any indication
Right.
of what his leadership is going to be, this is the clearest indication. The major contrast between him and President Weah is this: President Weah was voted against by almost 80% of the people of Lofa County.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the people that he's tailored his development to.
Exactly. The same
people of Lofa County,
Yep.
almost 80% of the people of Lofa County voted against President Weah.
And he walked the role of Lofa. I know up to Salaye is paved, but then he saw the role and said, like, seeing is believing.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I need this part fixed.
Yeah.
Like you did, and I asked that question earlier. I said, if Liberia was a test of 15
questions,
and you just snub the rest, and you expect, and they're walking around saying they're going to score how?
10-5 and left 10.
That's what I told you about the selflessness of President Weah.
Yeah.
He goes to Lofa. I was the campaign manager of 2010. We, relative to the rest of the country, we didn't get much from Lofa.
Yeah.
Yet he has concentrated infrastructure development.
Yeah.
Why? Because that political subdivision is germane to our economic development.
Yeah.
And if it develops well, the people of this country will benefit.
Yeah.
And this is the interest of a selfless leader.
To the extent that his own people are blaming him.
You saw that post where the guy said, the old man, he got dry face. Somebody was saying that this took in our local parlance that he stood right before the city hall that was built by this president, under the electricity by this president, the paved road of the president in Foya,
Standing on the pavement.
yeah, on that pavement, and said the president did nothing.
But in his county. But in the county he's done nothing so he stood under the lights that President Weah provided, in front of the city hall that President Weah built, on the very pavement that President Weah constructed, and then telling the people of Foya, say, this president has done nothing, you need to vote him out. But the point I wanted to make is, so President Weah is from the Southeast. Regardless of what you say, regional politics in Africa sort of matters quite a lot. So President Weah is going to sweep the Southeast. That is clear. And they've regarded his stronghold. But it is interesting that the president is winning a lot of support obviously in his part of the country, in other parts, Western Liberia, central part of Liberia. But the president is also wielding significant support in places that were previously deemed their stronghold. So to the extent now that these counties, Nimba, Lofa, they've become battleground counties. So that is the clearest indicator that they're going to win this thing. So Lofa County voted against the president by 80%. But look at when the president went there 2 weeks ago. That number of support that the president received, ranging from Salaye, Zozo, Vonjama, Kolahun, Foya, in Foya of all places, there were more people that came out to welcome the president than they came out to welcome their own son. So that is telling.
Yeah, but you should also look at. You see, there's been early signs. So the senatorial by-elections in Lofa, where our candidate won, you saw the number of votes that came from Foya for the candidate. What is even discouraging for me to Buakai with the Southeast? You see, the Southeast, the concentration of the Kwa people, Kwa speaking group. He went to Basel, expecting his rescue model, the borrowed nomenclature rescue model, to bring all out the Basel people. When it got to Grand Basel County, it was a very poorly attended program. Very, very poorly attended. I thought.
No, the rescue brother says she can rescue Lofa now. She can deliver Lofa. She couldn't deliver Grand Basel County.
I thought the way the president is in battling them in Lofa with the developmental, activities. Because I met a young man who told me, say, do you know in Zozo, the president has built several housing units for older people, over 26 of them. Two bearing, those people are moving in. So I thought they would be in the Southeast trying to battle, get away some of the votes from us. But imagine, they have openly said in their actions that the Southeastern part of Liberia is not important. And that is over 3,000 votes.
But then you should take one factor into consideration.
And I'm talking to three Southeasterners here. Three of you, Professor TARPEH.
Yes.
Kwame Weeks, and Daniel Lusto. I'm from Joseph Parker County.
You got so many Southeast Alliance too.
Oh yeah, my China Alliance. But that's stronger, man. Can't come from the mother. But how does that make you feel, Professor TARPEH?
Well, I feel good about it. I feel good about it, and you see, my couple in Vonjama, who has a 17-year-old daughter going to high school, is no longer in the position to pay 3,500 low wheeler market she made. Current President Wiyama, I will take care of
that
other child. And when she gets to college, when she get to college, she can go to the University of Liberia.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a network of junior colleges now
across the country.
Yeah. And the university is working now to try they can link them substantively in terms of curriculum and work. It has not already been completed, because when I was at the university, they started that process. So Markopo sees that. Now, you are telling Markopo to make a choice between that person that relieves her of that burden, and have provided opportunity for her child to pursue education. You telling her to make a choice between that person and the person, that tradition. So the people are now understanding that, we made this decision because we didn't know.
Lofa was a flop for the Unity Party. They don't want to admit to that, but it was a big flop. If there is any indication that they're going to lose this election, that would be from Lofa County, because that should be the county that should have come out in their number. Not even Nima the vice senator bearer. And then there are complaints that maybe Kun might not have come from Nima. Plus, he admitted to that. He has admitted to that in the Southeast and to the Southeasterner. Actually, I come from here. I just settled in Nima County. Yes. So, and I'm from Nima. Don't mind what Prince Johnson telling you, that what basically Kun is saying. Don't mind what Prince Johnson telling you. And besides, Prince Johnson has said this before. In fact, he even accused Kun of being President Weah's cousin. Say Kun and President Weah related from the Southeast. So that he didn't want to vote for him when they had their beef before. Now Kun himself had come out to admit that I'm from the Southeast and I'm from Nima County. So Nima people, there's no Nimbaya on the Unity Party ticket. The person that did that, Joseph Baga, wants Southeasterner. So just that they want to lie to you because the men settled there. You know, in Ghana are bustling county now. They got business people and they're not businessmen. So I would have expected that Lofa were going to turn out, because given the fact that the president won in 14 of the 15 counties, and Lofa did turn out in mass during the 2017 elections. So we were expecting a repeat. Not knowing that, we made Lofa a special project. Firstly, the president employed a lot of different sons and daughters of Lofa County, myself included. But then the president also took, tailored development specifically the Lofa County. So the Lofa, I say, well, I mean, we're grateful people. We already call them Tanu, the town owner. And traditionally we don't vote against presidents. We don't vote against the leaders. For Chaleking Town to now, we don't seem to vote against the leaders of the country. The only reason we voted Joe Barker was because he was vice president at the time. So now that the time has shifted, the president is president, you expect them to vote against him when Joe Barker opposition leader? No, you're not controlling anything. You didn't even know where he was. You saw that clip of Joseph Barker being introduced by his campaign. Yeah. It took almost 3 minutes.
Barker is the president. Nimba, the president going to Nimba. George Weah is not stranger to Nimba.
No.
Yeah. Our great grandfather, Nimba TARPEH, was the one when the war between the Khan and the Crown, they called as a warrior to put the settlement to stop the two groups. And that's why he settled in TARPEH. TARPEH also grew up in TARPEH's place.
Place.
Then he established a place for the down people to be. And that's called the Ganta. Ganta means this is the place for the Gan. That's what it means. Ganta. So when he goes there, you see TARPEH Memorial right there in TARPEH. So President Weah is not stranger to that. You see, his peaceful nature was inherited from his great grandparent. Father, right?
How do you call that place? B and Doro is the same people. Yeah. That's why when the young man that's where his mother, father came from.
Yes. If you
so that means they're connected there.
But the first,
it's more connected than anybody on the Unity Party.
The first guy who called, he said Nimba Kwado. Kwado is a cruel word meaning one hand together. It was coming from right there in TARPEH.
Wow.
So Joe Weah is not strange to Nimba.
So there's this question I want to ask, Prof. It became the major joke of the Unity Party on this campaign. When last has it been on any campaign activities where the country devil play a major part of the campaign?
Country devil? Yeah. No, the minute say let me put it in context.
Exactly.
So Joseph Barker received a very poor showing in Zozo. And another very poor showing in Salaye. But then they were followed around by this network that have been following them all over the place. And because of the show, the poor showing, the number of people that came out, they didn't come out in a big number. So they didn't want to show it. But then they were justifying it by saying that, we're not going to show Salaye and Zozo because the country devil came out, and the people said you can't take picture doing the country devil president. So the country devil came out. Yeah, they want to say to it. So that's why. But the president went there. The president couldn't go and conduct press conference.
That's why I go. Couldn't conduct press conference. Couldn't that was six breach. But country devil want to buy the people. The officer were like, how did that guy enter?
Let's open the lines. Briefly, we can take 5-6 calls before we close the show. Finally, call us on 080-514-096. or 086-561-537. 080-514-096. Good morning.
Yes, I've been following the conversation, but just to speak a little bit about Abuku, I think the act of betrayal in this country is not anything that is good. For the fact that my brother and friend Seth Brown was being denied on getting on the ticket of the co-election in Nimba County 2017, and he benefited that. Even to be elected as senator, it was the same CDC.
Yep.
To come back and start the CDC in the background, let me say, in its own backyard, definitely for me is disappointing. I just want to say that the president is doing his best for the fact that if you compare the 27 years of Tottenham, the 9 years of Tobo from 71 to 1980, from 1980 to 1990, and even the Madam Celeste time.
For 12 years, yeah.
The time of the Ebola and the coronavirus. During the Ebola, they were itself was standing by itself and gave a lot of help. So if you compare it with the coronavirus, which troubled the international community and these sophisticated countries that live in and everything the president is doing is from the taxpayers' money. People must begin to look at it from that perspective to ensure that indeed he gets a second term. It would be unjust if we just say President Weah is one-time president.
But where are you from? Where are you from? Which part of the country are you from?
Hello?
Which part of the country are you from?
Sorry, the line is bad.
Which part of the country are you from? All right.
Where are you calling from?
Let's talk to this caller. Maurita, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brother. Maurita, go to for taking to party.
All right, Maurita, go ahead.
Yeah, Brother Fufana, I want to tell my pa thank you. Yeah, I want to tell my pa thank you. You see, Brother Fufana, those opposition, they are confused. They didn't know what they're supposed to say. They want to tell me great too. They're great too. People will be calling for rescue. Brother, what they want to tell me? How can we agree? Thank you for calling for rescue. You're not going to the battle back. Why? Rescue people are Brother, they call it rescue. Yeah, let me go to the battle back there. Where are you the one they call it? They will know it. So the way they get it, you go to one president we have built total office unit. Go to what today they need on radio that the street that they want. After what you telling me they're talking, okay, we agree. You want to go to the battle back. But what I want to tell you, I want children and working with president we are going through my father in studio. When she TARPEH, the woman will call you, they have mama pass off. That should have not talking.
Oh, thank you.
You're my head president, we are talking general and Swahili.
Yes.
The other children are working with president, we are in local county, in the general county. They are happy president, we are talking general the other county. So you're like for other side too. You're my head president, we are.
Yes,
The other president, we are here.
Yes, ma'am.
You're my president, we are getting on better. You're going, you're the better of this implemented. We're taking you.
Thank you, Maurita.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's talk to more callers. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Walker.
Yeah.
Good morning, Minister Walker Fofana. And good morning.
Yeah, your name, where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Minister Walker Fofana, and good morning to Professor TARPEH. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning. Good morning.
This is Ojuku.
Ojuku.
Ojuku. I join you from District Number 4, Maserado County. I extend my thanks and appreciation to Prof. TARPEH for excellently educating the public and also educating the opposition. Look, we have to be very much cognizant of the fact here as Liberians. What we see, the tangible we see in our rural community is what Liberians we should go back. Because we want to see rural connectivity, we want to see school built in our community, we want to see marketplaces built in our community. This is the time that we go at the ballot box and vote President Weah. Look, what President Weah have done in this country, look, no president since 1847 has ever done it. I hail from Nima. This is my first time to see road from Ganta to Senikore. This is my first time to see road, coastal road from Senikore to Logwa to Bora. This is my first time to see road from Ganta to Sekrepi. Our people in Nima are overwhelmed. Our people in Nima are overtaxed. They all consider President Weah. Our people, they are going to vote you in that number. Okay. The issue about when Nima gets Godfather will go and lie to the people before, it will never happen. Our people have resolved. So we want to encourage everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you, Obus.
This country develop, you're going to vote for President Weah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Minister Fofana.
Yeah, your name, where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Peter. I'm calling from Kawasan.
All right, Peter Lynn Peters. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say thanks to all of you in studio there for the conversation. I want to say to the Liberian people that we should all remain peaceful and go to this election. on Tuesday. Tuesday is a very special day in the lives of every Liberian.
Yep.
The opposition, most especially the Unity Party, they know that they will be defeated. This is why they want to bring tension in the country. But we don't want that. So vote for election peacefully, and President William is going to win fairly. You see the video that Popo said before those voters running all around saying that people were calling for rescue in Grenku. Your own buyer, you call your stronghold of our country. President William went there, and the people came out in their numbers to welcome him. They didn't call for rescue. In their own country, they can't call for rescue. If they start the song or taking pictures, I'll be careful with our fingers. Because if you just put your finger all the way to that side, then you really get it.
Yeah, exactly.
The peace sound. Okay, let's talk to this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Your name, where are you calling from?
This is your friend and brother Advocate Car. We do have a say for the re-election of President. We are asked to conclude on our campaign activities on this program today.
Don't forget to come out Sunday.
No. Why are you talking? Why are you talking? Hey, I don't want to tell you because you don't want to for the county.
You already telling me, okay, that's
You know, brother, I always say this. You know, I will go back to that local issue. Before that incident occurred, we saw men parading the street of Foya saying that they were militant of Unity Party and they were there to protect Unity Party and their family. Before that incident occurred, and they were in red shirt, red trousers, and red hater. And they said there were 800 men. So the security said they had arrested from the 7. We say need more. We need more answer to that incident that occurred because we still have 700 plus trained militant Unity partisans that are waiting to disrupt our process. We don't want that. So
presidential aide traveling along with the president,
Okay.
has called us. Sekou Carrasco Damaro. Carrasco, good morning.
Good morning, Baka. How are you?
We are doing well. Where are you now? Where is the president?
Greenville.
Oh, Baka, we just arrived in Greenville.
Okay.
Yeah, we just arrived in Greenville. We drove whole day, whole night. Almost 26 hours from Shastan to Greenville.
26 hours?
26 hours.
I will believe that.
Wow.
26 hours we drove, particularly from Shastan to Greenville. As a matter of fact, the condition of road is so deplorable, but the president, the kind of person he is, thought it wise to always look at the condition to feel the pain the people are going through. And he always said to them, LIBERIA is 176 years old. This road being there. What I'm trying to do is to continuously, go through this process and feel the same thing that you're going through. So at least it can give me that sense of responsibility as your leader to make sure that the roads are paved. So we've been driving whole day, whole night. We had one stop in how they call it, Goken, where the Bokonjire is the first time since 2005 for any presidential candidate
to go
or aspiring to test out Bokonjire. And people waited up to 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay? I'm going to be uploading the video later. People waited up to 2 a.m. in the morning. When we had touched the president in Bokonjire, as a matter of fact, okay, well, they erected a monument in Bokonjire for the president as a sign of respect and support. Since 2005, the president, George Weah, has never touched base in Bokonjire, but no presidential candidate has ever won the CDC or George Weah in Bokonjire. So as a symbol and sign of respect, the president decided to stop there and pay that courtesy to them and appreciate them. They told the president, say, you coming here, it's not a campaign. It's just that we've been voting for you since 2005 and we want to see you, and so you can see that the people here love you and support you. So we had our stop there, that brief interaction the president had with them, and we picked up to come to Greenville.
Your opposition friends, Carrasco, say the president is using helicopter.
And that's the trivialities the guy continue to. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, like I was saying, but that's the triviality, and they've been beaten to their own games because from 2005, when George Weah was in opposition, he brought in a helicopter. He had a helicopter, but he went through the difficult route to notice the condition of the place. And that's the reason why today, under George Weah, 3-4 years, he has built more roads than any other president in the first 3-4 years. No president in the history has built more roads than George Weah. This is my imagination. I see the United Party guys running with road. If you could not build all of the roads in 12 years, and you expect George Weah to build all of the roads in 4-5 years, and that's the irony of the campaign. But again, and I saw a video.
And that's why I wanted to come to you about that video. You recorded a video in Grand Coup, and there were folks in the audience saying, "Rescue, rescue." Who were they referring to?
The only rescue we know in Liberia is Nora Finabondo.
That's all.
The only rescue we know in Liberia
All as a copycat.
is Nora Finabondo. When we got in Southtown, you saw people jubilating, and they were jubilating to see their son, their brother, their uncle. And Fina been doing a lot in Southtown, especially in terms of construction of homes and giving the market women there, giving them loans, and to to continue with their business. So they started to chant FEMA, rescue, rescue. And it's normal. Everywhere we go, Buckeye, go to all of my videos that I've been posting. Everywhere we go, you see people chanting, rescue, rescue. So for the guy to deceive himself and use that video and say they're talking to the old man who is retarded, the old man who is not thinking right in his own mind, the old man who has vowed after leaving 4 years with Pastor to come back to Monrovia, then you want to make him happy and say they're referring to him. Let them keep deceiving themselves. That's the reason why I even want to respond to that. Right. So I continue as gibberish. I don't want to respond to it because it is complete. I don't want to use any harsh word.
Yeah, leave it.
Yeah, but
so how long the president going to be spending in Sino?
We're leaving from Sino today. From Sino, we drive it to go to River Falls. From River Falls, we drive it to go to Monrovia. The president is the only president that has visited the 73 districts of this country. Okay, we are flying in a chopper. We are flying helicopter. The president is so energized. He's moving. He just landed this morning. We just entering the presidential compound in Greenville. And he's energized.
How was the reception?
Okay, trust me. And for me, my witness is the video that will be posted, right? And what I share. But overall, Buckeye, the reception towards this president, re-elections, is something that you can't easily describe. And no opposition in this Southeast Buckeye. And you can take my word for it. No opposition political party will win more than 5% votes in the Southeast.
But I said Bonnie and John Balu are there, and Jeremiah Coon.
Well, John Balu, they contested for election how many times?
They fly him. For his own election, they fly him. The message can go influence the whole Southeast.
How many times? But you saw when we entered Cleveland, Maryland, you saw the turnout. You saw how people chanted George William. You saw how people chanted the CDC. From that, people waited from in the morning up to 11 p.m. in the night. People were in the street.
Yep.
We went to Harper. You saw up to 1 a.m. in the morning. You saw people in the street. Look, those things would have happened based on honesty, sincerity. If the people are not sincere, Buckeye, they will not wait for you up to 1 a.m. They will not wait for you up to 12 midnight.
That cannot be financially induced at all. It's passion.
There's no inducement, no level of financial inducement.
No, that the explanation that people can give to themselves, they can console themselves with that.
Definitely, they're consoling themselves, making themselves feel happy. But this elections, it's not about propaganda, Buckeye. No propaganda can beat reality because the people are seeing it. You go everywhere, you see the first-time voter, you see students, you see the market women, you see the elderly people. They are all singing one song. This thing that President Weah has done for the people, in paying for the children while fee, in providing free education for the people, in giving market women loans.
Let's go. We got to go. Just one last question. How is the president? He's been making a lot of long trips around the country. How is his health? And is he going to be marching in Monrovia on Sunday?
The president will march in Monrovia on Sunday. The president is energized. The president is not like one of these.
I know where you're going.
I will go there, Buckeye. The president is not like one of these old people that can even forget that you got media people before them and they need to respond. Look, United Party guys need to stop, Buckeye. They need to stop jeopardizing Joseph Buckeye who living condition. Buckeye is retarded. The only thing that is required of Buckeye at this stage is to have him rest. But the way the guys are pushing this old man, anything happen to him, Baka is a statement. Anything happen to Baka, we will hold them responsible because they are the ones that are causing Baka to go through this kind of strenuous process.
Okay, thank you so much. That's a really good point. That's the voice of the presidential aide, Sekou Carrasco Damaro. Prof, anything you want to say just before we close?
No, just as I was saying. So, in each of these three major areas, health, education, infrastructure, President Weah has done a good job. And he needs a second term in order to complete this job. We want to tell our people, go to the ballot box on Tuesday, October 10, and vote number 18. The alternative, the opposition does not have it. We are in this together. President Weah is in this together. We want to make sure your situation improve. Your children go to school. You got health facilities. You can go on, you can drive on paved roads and better roads. Are we there yet? No, they are not there yet. But you can see the steps that he has taken, and this man means well for this population. Go and vote for the CDC, and don't even bother with the opposition because they have no option. Before I leave, one thing I want to say too was that, some of our communities were posting, we're responsible for the stimulus report. Some people don't read in this country because the stimulus report was released. But we'll make it to the press, I think, on Monday, so it can be out. By the way, the stimulus program package was successfully completed in July. We returned close to $2 million back to the government, but the details will be given. We serve over 2.5 million households, far above the target of 2 million that we presented. But we asked the Minister of Information, which is the chair or the communication arm of the COVID food project, to be the handle this. We want to tell our people thank you. We hope we provided enough information. You can counter check what we have given you, that this government, headed by President Weah, inherited a very, very extremely precarious, the book will call it, a tough thing. And where we are, progress has been made. We'll make more progress, and we look for a second term. Go and vote, and please keep your kids out of violence. Be yourself. People will try to provoke you. Don't bow to any provocation that will fracture the peace of our country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Daniel?
I think the prof said it already, so yeah.
Kwame?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, we want to thank you for the time. We want to thank the ELBC management for giving us extra 15 minutes to go over, our usual allocated time. But this was an important segment of the show. We had Professor Wilson TARPEH on. Professor TARPEH is an astute professor, but also a veteran Liberian politician who's been around for quite a while. A lot of us marvel at his prowess and what have you. It's a great honor to be seated on the same table with Professor TARPEH. That's all the time we have for today's edition of the show. We're back here next Friday to announce to you that the president-elect is His Excellency